Hello. So today we're going to be talking about trees. So I decided to video this episode in my backyard, right toward the end of my backyard. So this is just right on the other side of my fence. And so today we're going to be looking at trees as an unsung hero, but they really are a hero in the natural world. And I'm just going to walk you through the few parts of the lesson and then leave you to your own to do the rest of the lesson yourself. So the first part over here is simply to watch the video. It's a PowerPoint. Watch the PowerPoint about the unsung heroes that your classmates decided upon the other day. And they came up with all sorts of good things, some things I had never heard of. So I thought that was very interesting. Um, and if you just download the video and then press play, it does have timings and music. So hopefully that will work for you. And then there's just one question to answer about the unsung video. Come here, Zeusy. Zeus is enjoying trees. I don't even know if that is on there. So there we go. There's the video you're going to be watching. Worms and bees were the number one things mentioned as the unsung heroes around us. And so, but there was a lot of other ones, some that I'd never heard of, like this guy. I've never heard of this guy before. It was a bristle nose Phlebostomus, so I had to read up about it. It was a very cool video. There's Zeus just enjoying the forest. And so, anyway, watch that video, see what your classmates came up with. And I appreciate all of you who turned in your video. They were a lot of fun. Turned in your suggestions. It was a lot of fun to see what you thought. The next one, I want to go to this website. I'm just going to kind of show it to you and walk you through it. But this is a website by the tree people going through 22 different ways that trees are important. And I'm afraid you won't read all these, so I want to just look at them real quick. Trees help combat climate change. They clean the air. They, of course, provide oxygen. They provide a lot of cooling for city streets. They conserve energy, and you can read how they do that there in a minute. They save water. They help prevent water pollution. Um, they help prevent water pollution. They help prevent soil erosion. They shield children from ultraviolet rays. They provide food, of course. There's healing that they can provide. You'll have to read about that one. They help reduce violence. Maybe you want to read about that one. Trees help mark the seasons. They create many economic opportunities. They are teachers and playmates. Trees bring diverse people together. Trees add unity. Trees provide a canopy for habitat and wildlife. Trees block things. Trees provide wood, of course. Trees increase property values, and trees increase business traffic. So some of those may have surprised you, and you may have never thought of that before, like how does a tree provide unity, or how does a tree create economic growth, or what do they mean trees can heal. So I encourage you to go to this website, read through some of these, and there's also tons of other fantastic websites about the value of a tree. So I encourage you to do any of your own research also. Let me get rid of that. And so that's the second part of today's lesson. And then the third part of today's lesson is you are just going to go outside, and even if you live in an apartment, find a tree. It can be very small. It does not have to be as big as the trees I'm surrounded by right here, but you can go outside and find a tree of any type, sit by it, and you are going to do a tree observation. So let me go ahead and open that up for you so I can go over that. I'm being dragged away by the Zeus. Hold on. Zeus, come on over here. We're teaching class. We're teaching class. Yes. See, we're teaching. And so now he's sitting in my lap. So we're going to go to the Adopt a Tree project. So let me open that up and just kind of go over it with you. So since we're celebrating Earth Day, I thought it would be fitting to try to get you outside and do some observation. And so that's what I'm going to do today too. I'm going to try this assignment. And so it is a 2-day assignment. I'm going to give you Tuesday and Wednesday to complete it. The first part is your observation. So you're just going to grab a little notebook, a pen or a pencil, and go outside and find your tree that you're going to adopt. You're going to visit this tree later on in the year, so remember which tree it is. Find a comfortable place. Hint, I brought a bath mat to sit on out here because even though it's been dry, it's a little wet on the ground. And you are going to set your timer or watch or estimate and try to spend at least 15 minutes just observing your tree. Now, that might sound boring, but it actually is kind of cool because you're going to observe in detail. No music, no headphones, not this time, just devote all your senses to nature and to the trees you see. So when I do my observation, I'll actually make Zeus go somewhere else because he's quite distracting. So you're going to sit down and you're going to have this list of questions. So you may want to write the questions in a notebook ahead of time, or if you have a printer, you could print them out. But you're going to look at things like, where's your tree growing? What plants are growing nearby? How big is your tree? Describe its bark, feel its bark. Don't eat its bark, but definitely you can smell its bark. Notice the branches. Are they straight? Are they curved, etc.? Does it have leaves? Does it have needles? Describe their shape and their texture. So you should be having lots and lots of descriptive words and adjectives, not just things like looks like a leaf, because every leaf is completely different. And then does your tree have flowers or cones or seed pods? Describe them. Very detailed, like you'll see here, how many petals, how many stamens. Those are little things that come up out of the middle. And just read all the questions there. Find something to smell around your tree. Now focus on listening. You probably can't hear it as well as I, but there are a ton of birds singing right now. So focus on listening and write down what you can hear, and also human created sounds too. So I have a highway down the road that definitely at this time of day hear lots of the cars. Look very closely for something small around your tree, so very, very small, and describe it. And then search the ground and your bark and everything else until you find something living, which most likely will be an insect. If you found something else living in your tree, I don't think it has to be an insect, but most likely it is an insect. And then write down 2 things you were reminded of while you're doing this observation before you leave, and write 2 I wonder statements, things that you're curious about as you relate to the tree. So obvious, all those questions are in your assignment. So that's going to be part 1, just the 15-minute observation. Part 2 that you could do on Wednesday, or you can do the same day, is simply a write-up, and I'd like that in first-person narrative. So what that means is you'll be telling me the story of what you were noticing and thinking during your 15-minute still spot. So for example, first tell me how you selected your tree and why, and the rest of the statements should be in sentences like, first I noticed, then I saw, it reminded me of, it made me wonder. And you should be using lots of specific details and lots of adjectives and descriptive words and colors and textures, actual numbers and estimations, for example. And so that's going to be your write-up. Please write in full sentences, not just a list of notes. Obviously, while the birds are really loud. I don't know. You can hear them right now. I think they're yelling at me. Obviously, if you when you're out doing your observation, you probably won't write in full sentences. It's up to you. But once you've done your observation, take those notes and turn it into this first-person narrative. I really look forward to reading your observations. We've all seen a tree before, but I've done this assignment before, but it's been a very long time. And so it's just very different when you actually give your full attention to the tree. And I hope you enjoy it.